Hi, how are you? My name is Michael Mode and I'm here with Paul Nielsen. How you doing, Paul?
Michael?
We're in Paul's amazing shop, the Wonderground, one of the brick and mortar shops in the country that are doing well today. So thanks for having us here. We're going to do a performance of a trick called Caught Red-Handed. This was inspired by Nick Trost's Marked Cards, which was out years and years ago. And my good friend Arthur Otney and I reworked the entire thing, streamlined it, and we have an in-the-hands version, and then we have a version you can do on a table. So I'm going to perform one, and then we're going to explain it. And thanks again for purchasing. Come on in. You can check it out. Paul, have you ever seen marked cards before?
Yes, I have.
This is a bicycle marked deck of cards, which isn't very common. And let me show you how they work. Even though they come in a blue-backed bicycle box, and they look like regular blue-backed bicycle cards, I'll show you the marks here. If you don't mind, hold your left hand out, just like a table. I'll go through here and I'll find one of the cards. Now, without cheating, without turning that card over, can you see the marks on that card and tell what it is there?
Yeah, there's something here in the corners.
Yeah, you got them there. Now, there's actually two of this card in the deck. I'll go through and I'll show you the other one. Those are both jokers. Now, have you ever heard of the phrase being caught red-handed?
Sure.
Yeah. What most people don't know is that that phrase originated with playing cards. I'll show you what I mean. See, if you were caught red-handed with a marked deck, it would look something like that. So you can actually read the word Joker on there now. You can see that the backs are red. Try it yourself. Go ahead. Just give that card a slight bend. Turn it over.
Oh!
You've done this before. Very good. Let's try with a few more cards here, Paul. If you would, just take those cards, give them a slight bend, and turn them over. Take a look. Now, every single card is marked. That's the 6 of hearts, the 10 of spades, the king of clubs. Every card in the deck is red. Every card in the deck is marked. And I think that's pretty amazing. All right, you just saw a performance of Caught Red-Handed, a trick that was created by myself and my good friend Arthur Otney. And we're here again with Paul Nielsen from the Wonderground Magic Shop. And we're going to go through the explanation of how to do this. Come on in close so you can see. You start with the deck of cards in the box. That's important because you're going to say, have you ever seen a marked deck of cards? Which is very, a lot of people are interested in marked cards, so it's a very good premise for a trick. You're going to take these out and say, these are actually bicycle cards that are marked, and they even come in a blue back bicycle box. So you're pointing out that it's a blue back just in case they don't notice they're blue back. Reinforcing that. Here's the setup of the trick. If you were to fan these out face up, you're going to see that half of the deck is a regular red-backed bicycle deck, but we've taken the time to hand mark these. It takes a long time to do this, but we actually hand marked them. So the 8 of spades is an 8S, 2 of hearts is a 2H. In this packet, we have one joker that is written on the back. You're going to place that joker about 6 or 7 from the end of the spread here. Okay. The other half of the deck is a red blue back double backer bicycle deck. There are no faces here, it's just red blue back. Again, these are marked with the cards that aren't in this half. We hand mark those. When you turn these face down, there's one card that's a joker here. That's a red blue back. It's got the blue marks on it. Again, you're going to place that one about 6 or 7 from the end of this spread. So let me show you what that looks like when it's face down. These cards go here. An important thing, before you put these cards on there, you're going to just bend them slightly. You're going to take these and bend these this way. So when the cards are placed together, you're going to see that you've created a natural break in the deck of cards. Okay? With the cards face down, again, the setup is the marked joker is about 6 or 7 from the end of the spread. And this way you've got the red back joker about 6 or 7 cards before you get to these. Okay? The reason for doing that is you can spread through most of the cards. When you see that joker, you know it's time to stop so you don't expose these cards as you're spreading them. So here's the performance. You take the cards out of the box, have them face down. Paul, if you would hold your left hand just like a table there. I'm going to go through the cards here and find one of the marked cards. Now, without cheating or turning it over and looking at it, can you see the marks on that card and tell what it is? Now,
Yes.
the reason I asked them to not turn it over or cheat, it seems like I'm being more fair to them. In reality, I don't want them to turn the card over because it's got a red back on it. But you do it in a very logical way. Without turning that card over and looking at it, can you tell what that card is? Now, as you're doing that and as they're looking at the backs of the cards, you turn the rest of the deck face up. You press down on the front edge and your right thumb breaks the cards here. You're going to do a half pass with the bottom of the deck, doing this and turning it over so that the red cards are now revealed. You don't do this right in front of their hand though. What I do is I bring the cards in towards my body and I say, can you see the marks on that card? Now what I do is I lean forward, and as I do, I'm doing the move as I'm coming in. I'm pulling the cards back and I'm doing the move and I'm pointing this out. This larger movement of moving in and pointing to the card will cover that smaller move of doing the half pass. So once again, it's here. Can you see the marks on the card there?
Yes.
And I've just done that move there. Okay. Once again, it's here. I've got a break. As I come in, those cards turn over. So my left hand is just turning these over underneath the cover of holding these face-up cards. So it's here. Can you see the marks on that card? These turn over as I square everything up with my left hand and point with my right finger. Now I say there's actually two of this card in the deck. I'll show you the other one. And I'm going through face up looking for the joker. Now there's a reason that I'm doing this directly over his hand. If I'm here, he can't turn his hand over. So I hold these low enough to that card so that I'm blocking his hand from turning. I go through and I remove the other joker and set it right on his hand. These get gathered up. I take this joker, and once again I'm positioning my hand right over his so he can't turn over. And I say, have you ever heard of the phrase being caught red-handed? Well, let me show you what it is, because that phrase originated with playing cards, which isn't true, but it's a good story. You take the card, you give it a slight bend, you turn your hand over, and you do a push-through move with your fist. You're just taking your right thumb and pushing that card through. Okay. Now we're going to do a move that simulates what a Mexican turnover does, but it's a little bit different, and it's done in the hands here. I'm going to take this card, place it in at a right angle so it's perpendicular to that one, and then I turn the entire thing over, rotating the card slightly so that I can now point to the word joker. And the reason I'm doing this is so that I can use this card to point out joker. Okay, that's the motivation for turning the cards over here, so I can do that. So once again, this is in his hand. I've just changed this card into a red joker. I put this in from the side, turn the whole thing over and say, look, you can actually see the word joker on there now. I then take this card back from them, the double backer, in my left hand. I give them this red back card, but I don't show them. I just put it in their hand. I say, here, you try it. Give the card a slight bend. Turn your hand over. And look at that. You're pretty good at this. Take this card, place it under the double backer, and now you can turn the entire thing over, turn both cards over as one, and place them on the bottom of the deck here. Bottom of the deck face up. And then say, here, let's try it one more time. And I take off less than half of the cards. So I take off less than half of the cards. I put them in his hand. I say, here, just give them a slight bend and turn them over. When they do that, say, look at that. That's a jack of diamonds, that's a nine of clubs, an ace of diamonds. They can look at all of the cards in their hand. They're completely examinable. These I can't turn over because they're red-blue, but because I gave him less than half the deck, it leaves me with a few cards at the end that I can turn over and show. And I say, look, there's the King of Clubs, there's the Two of Hearts, there's the Eight of Spades. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so that's the handling of Caught Red-Handed. Thanks again for buying this. If you did like it, it's created by myself and Arthur Otney, and we're also going to show you a variation that Arthur Otney came up with. So let me show you that now. I'll show you how to reset the deck. If you want to come in close here. You've got these cards that are the red backs, and you're just going to take whatever cards were left over on here, place them there. You'll have the two jokers on the bottom here. So you're going to take the double backer, place it here once again about 6 or 7 from the end, and then in this packet here you're going to place the joker about 6 or 7 from the end again. Okay. Now this time with this is a version that's done on the table. You're not going to bend the cards this way. You're going to bend them so that the bend is lengthwise in the cards, and bend these up like that. So when the cards are together, you have a natural break there in the cards. When you press down on one end, it's going to be exaggerated here. If you're holding the deck of cards, you want to hold them together so that that isn't obvious. With this version, you go through the cards, you remove the blue card that has the marks on it, which says Joker on the other side, and then what you do is you turn the cards over and go through and take out the Joker face up. Now here's a clever move that Arthur Otney created for this. You're going to squeeze this half of the deck here with these fingers of your left hand, and your right thumb is going to get that natural break. Now you don't want to do this, I'm doing it for the camera exposed here, you would want to do this so that it's towards your body to hide that move. You're going to push these two cards forward, reinforcing that these are blue cards, and then you're just going to come back and set the deck on the table. So what I've done there, this is a way of doing the trick without doing the half pass. We did the half pass in the first version. This is a way of doing it without doing that half pass. You have the cards here. When you put the cards on the table, you're going to keep them a little bit closer to your body than usual. You don't want to put them in the center of the pack. Keep them closer to you. Again, you're going to get that break in the cards, and this hand, the left hand, turns over, rotating these double back cards down so the blue is facing up. These cards just stay with the faces pointing towards the ceiling. So you're going to do this and do it towards your body so they don't see that red card. It's like a necktie turn over here, but you're just doing this. Your index fingers then push the cards forward. Can you see the marks on that card? Now as they're focusing on the marks on that card, all I'm going to do is leave these cards like this. These cards come on top, I square up and put everything towards me. Okay? So once again, the cards are here. We need to reverse this bottom of the deck. So I have the two jokers on the table, or the joker and the double backer. These hands turn over, I push them forward, say, can you see the marks on those cards? And then as I come back, the move is done as I'm pulling the cards back and just table them. You now go through the rest of the routine, changing this card here. You can do this one here, and you can do this without a spectator's hand, which is nice. There's that card there. You can just set these off to the side if you want, and then you say, here, we'll try it with the entire deck, squeeze them, and now you have an entire deck of cards. And you can turn over the bottom half of the deck if you want. So that's another handling of Caught Red-Handed. Thanks again for purchasing the trick. We hope you have as much fun with it as we do.